I call the Gurnee Village Board meeting to order. It's January 24th, 2022. Roll call, please.
Woodside. Ross. Here. Garner. Here. O'Brien.
Present.
Balmas. Thorstensen.
Here.
5 present, 1 absent.
Y'all stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the first item on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda as presented. Is there a motion? Motion by Trustee Balma, second by Trustee Garner. Roll call, please.
Woodside. Ross.
Aye.
Garner. O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas.
Aye.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
All ayes, 1 absent.
All right, Pat.
Item number 1, approval of the minutes from the January 10th, 2022 meeting. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2022-04, authorizing the execution of and ratifying an agreement with the Newport Township Fire Department for dispatch services. Item number 3, approval of communications operator Stacy Schertz request to participate in the village's tuition assistance program in pursuit of a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Wisconsin-Parkside. Item number 4, approval of payroll for period ending January 14, 2022 in the amount of $907,683.35. Item number 5, approval of bills for period ending January 24, 2022 in the amount of $656,760.37.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Garner, second by Trustee Ross. Roll call, please.
Woodside. Ross.
Aye.
Garner. O'Brien.
Aye.
Balmas. Thorstensen.
Yes.
All ayes, 1 absent.
Motion carries. Letter C, petitions and communications. There's none, right?
Correct.
No reports.
Correct.
No old business.
Correct.
New business. Item number 1, approval of ordinance 2022,
05.
regulating and licensing tobacco and alternative nicotine product retailers. Pat?
Sure. So I had a memo from me on this in your packet. You remember we have a moratorium currently in place prohibiting the establishment of smoke, vape, and hookah shops. This was enacted back in November 2019 and is currently set to expire next month. We put it into place at that time due to some of the concerns regarding the health impacts these establishments could have on the community. The pause was to give a chance to look at it from a regulatory perspective, and then as we started to get into that, COVID hit, and unfortunately this moved down the list of priorities. So we continued the moratorium 2 times, as I said, to February of next month. Staff has got this back on our radar, been talking about what would be the most appropriate way to regulate this. After speaking with the mayor, the village attorney, we decided to treat these similar to liquor licenses. So that would be when one is requested, an application process, complete that, background check by the police department, then come before the village board. The way we're going to handle this with those that are currently in existence, the ordinance includes a temporary license that will be issued. We have 22 facilities currently in town that are selling nicotine or tobacco-related products. Those 22 would be issued a temporary license until April 30th, and then have to reapply on May 1. So the intent is to not preclude any of those that are currently operating. So all of those would be issued a license, but they'd have to go through the application process. Then any new business after that point in time would need to fill out the application and come before the village board for approval. The ordinance includes 2 classifications of licenses, one for where sales is 50% or more of their business, one where it's less. As I said, a lot of the provisions in here are similar to the way we handle liquor licenses. Attorney Winter helped draft this ordinance. Police department's reviewed it. We feel that it's reasonable. It gives us a better opportunity to keep track of these establishments in town as far as where they're located for the tobacco compliance checks, and then also work with them to educate them and make sure that they're following the law. So it is before you for consideration this evening.
And the only thing that I would add is we were
responsible retailing. I mean, there are regulations at the state level, and so the licensing fee is rather modest at $200, but that really reflects the police department having to do compliance checks. And so there has been a concern within a number of communities, including Gurnee, making sure that there doesn't develop a high density in particular areas that may be there looking for youth or other folks. And so the only thing I would say is that the way the ordinance is written is it does have a maximum number, and particularly for the exclusively smoke and vape. If someone gives up a license, there is a provision in the ordinance that automatically reduces the number of licenses available. So it may be a little different than the liquor license, where traditionally we have, the village staff has encouraged people to make those applications. That may not be the case for smoke shops. Just because basically, in looking at this, a community of approximately 32,000 population, and we now have, with the passage of this ordinance, would provide for 22 licenses. So it makes it available to the public. We're not restricting the availability, but what we are trying to do is encourage, and the phrase I would use is responsible retailing, so that we make sure that the retailers, are not, necessarily encouraging a product that we all know has some negative aspects to it.
Right, so, Pat, did you have anything further?
No.
No. So I'll just go to the right here, and are there any comments or questions?
No.
Being none, to my left? No, there being none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee O'Brien, second by trustee Garner. Roll call, please.
Woodside. Ross. Garner. O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas. Thorstenson.
Yes.
All ayes, one absent.
Motion carries. Item number 2, approval of ordinance 2022,
06.
authorizing execution of a Fourth Amendment to the lease agreement between the Village of Gurnee and Spectra Site Communications, LLC.
Sure. So you have a memo from Jody Luca, our management analyst on this. She worked with Chris Velkover and Dave Ziegler on this. So Spectra Site owns the tower at Fire Station number 2, and we just lease the ground to them. We don't have any plans for that ground space. We don't need that ground space, so them there leasing it is beneficial to us. Spectra Site came forward, as the mayor said, for their Fourth Amendment to this lease agreement regarding mainly the financial terms in there, that the escalator and the current base rent is out of whack with the current market. So they are looking to reduce the rent from $63,000 annually to $54,600 with a 3-year rent guarantee, a one-time upfront payment of $15,000, and then also reduce the annual escalator from 4% to 3%. Obviously, we want to make as much money as we can off this tower. We do have some public safety equipment on this tower that's beneficial to our operations. We were able to work in some language that's favorable to us as far as us maintaining that equipment on the tower. As I said, we don't own that tower, so when IS needs to get on there and have a contractor work on that equipment, it's been very time-consuming to make those connections and spend a lot of man-hours on that for some stuff that's simple, but it's a quite involved process. So we were able to include some language in there that we think will help make that easier going forward in the future. The lease term still stays the same, goes to 2054. So there is some trade-off as far as the monetary value, or the monetary that the village receives, but like I said, we got some language in there that we believe is more favorable, and we don't need the space, so we're still of the opinion that this is a good deal for the village at this point in time, and recommend your approval.
Any questions? Trustee O'Brien?
I just had one question. Is there any, I don't remember, was there anything in there for recourse if they don't respond to us in a timely fashion?
So at this point, the contract that we have just states that they will give us a response, and it's pretty lenient amount of time, and it's very courteous to us. So although we were asking for several days and automatic ability to put stuff up, there is some limitations of equipment that we can put on due to the height of the pole and the antenna and stuff. So they have stated that they will not respond, but when they do respond with a no, they have to come up with a reason why and the solution to allow us to eventually be able to put on what it is that we're looking to put on.
Okay, thanks.
Trustee Thorstensen?
Is there any ability to value the competitiveness of their statement, that it doesn't work for these financial terms?
When looking around this, for some of the information that I can find, this was pretty comparable without going to a third party to negotiate for us. One of the key things that they did say to me on the phone with them was that if we couldn't come to an agreement, that they would pull the tower and no longer, and they would terminate the agreement. So for that, looking around the few comparisons that I did, saw this was a reasonable offer and presenting it to you to move forward.
Yeah, this is the only one we have where we don't own the tower. We have them on water towers, so those agreements are a little bit different. So this is the only one we have where we actually lease the land to them. And again, I mean, we don't need the land per se, and us having public safety equipment on there, that's the real value to us if that tower's out there.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Trustee Bowles?
This has no application really to this, but when you say cell towers, are they becoming obsolete or something, or?
There's more and more popping up, so what they want to pay for rent goes down, and then you have some companies that are consolidating, so less players in the market. You remember, we used to have Crickets and all those, that you don't hear those names anymore, so as they go away, that frees up space on other towers as well, so.
And the only reason I ask this is because I love that one. Do you know the one out on Stern School in Hunt Road that now looks like a big fir tree? Whether, I don't know whether that cost a lot of money to put up, but that is so cool to see that, as opposed to seeing a cell tower, whether in the future that could be something that we could do. But it is a nice amenity.
You said this agreement is good through
2054.
20, I thought I heard 2054.
Thank you.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion by trustee Garner, second by trustee Thorstensen. Roll call, please.
Woodside. Ross. Garner. O'Brien.
Aye.
Thomas.
Aye.
Thorstensen.
Yes.
All ayes, one absent.
Motion carries. Now we have public comment. Anybody that would like to step to the microphone and state your name and address? There being none,
So moved.
motion to adjourn. Trustee Balmas has a motion. Who has a second? Second by trustee Thorstensen. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Question, trustee Thorstensen?
Are we canceling the committee of the whole?
Ah, yes, thank you. Is there a motion to, well, let's undo the,
I'll amend it in my
you'll amend your motion to end the meeting? so-
seconds to
all right. So
vote
is there a
against.
motion to cancel the meeting for?
So moved.
Okay. The special meeting of the whole. All right. Second? Second by trustee Garner. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we reinstate the motion to adjourn. Yes, all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, trustee Thorstensen.